Are we actually live? Teka lang ha. Not sure if we're live. I need to check it out for myself. Let's see. Ay, mali. Post ko lang naman din to eh. Are we live? Are we live? Okay. Okay, we are actually live. So, good morning, everyone. I am Ian Rignon, an independent alternative media practitioner, among other things. And welcome to the very first BIGLAANG Live of 2025. And it's also the very first Brood Banter of 2025. I never got to the chance to, you know, get a Brood Banter for most of the month because there's no coffee beans. I really would love to get a Brood Banter with instant coffee, but yeah, whatever. Tara, kape tayo, even though it's already 9:30 in the morning. Right. Anyway, so as the title implies, there's a big shakeup in the YouTube content creation scene, especially in the more conservative uh, atmosphere. But we'll deal with that as our main event. So we got a lot of stuff to do. January pa lang, ang dami na. There's a lot. There's a lot that happened in January, and we just have to itemize this so that we're done and dusted on the last day of the first month of 2025. Come to think of it, 31 days ago we are facing New Year's Eve, and now we just ended the first month of 2025 with a lot of shit. Anyway, yeah, let's begin with the main news that happened in the past month. First of all, on New Year's Day, the first hours or minutes even of New Year, two attacks happened in the United States. I think one of them is in New Orleans, the other one is in Las Vegas. It's just tragic that those things happened, and um, it did have a significant impact when it comes to uh, security measures and all that shit. Anyway, some people died, so that's tragic. And yeah, it really did happen. And then uh, January 6th, I think, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced that he would resign once his party has elected a replacement. Either way, some Canadians are saying that it's been a long time coming. He's a bloody nepo baby, and uh, some Canadians are saying good riddance. So, and I think they also are coming up with a general election as well this year. I am not sure, but either way, his party is gonna go down the drain. I am, if they do something, if they don't do something fast to uh, garner the support of the Canadian people. But you know what? Either way, they're cooked. So yeah, basically, there's that's that. Then in Tibet, a magnitude 6.8 earthquake happened. It really was devastating. Not everyone has seen that news, but yeah, it was devastating. And then back in the United States, wildfires happened in the West Coast, especially in Los Angeles. A lot of celebrities were that reside there have been heavily impacted by that. I think even the Hollywood sign has been burnt down. I am not sure if it's true or not, but either way, LA is on fire. LA is under fire, literally and figuratively, not just by its woke culture, but also of these wildfires. But let's not beat them down. Okay, to those who are opposed to the ideology that that has been status quo in Hollywood, it's very much toxic to to use this as a way of saying, well, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. No, that's not how it works. Anyway, yeah, I really wish the people of LA the very best, especially with recovering from this fire, from this devastating fire. And then, uh, in some tech news, Rosary in the Year became the top podcast in the world for at least a few days, beating Joe Rogan. But then again, it's just because Joe Rogan isn't podcasting or producing podcasts at the beginning of the year. So that at least we can say that Catholicism is gaining a lot of traction because of that. So yeah, and then back at home here in the Philippines, two events happened in January. Nazareno 2025, I was there on the ground in Quiapo to experience that. I'll tackle that in detail later. And then you have the peace rally of this other religious group. And, I'll leave it at that because, it's a can of worms altogether. That's, it's not cool to even talk about it at this point because, it's been regurgitated too much in local media. I don't want to. I want to spare you all of the drama. So that's that. Uh, back to the world stuff. A ski resort burned down in Turkey, resulting in the deaths of around 60 to 70 people. I'm not sure the final count, but um, uh, some people lost their lives there. Then, in another tech news is Meta has been has announced that they would end their fact checking operations for both Facebook and Instagram. So I think this was triggered by the announcement by Mark Zuckerberg after everything that has happened in the United States in 2024. So yeah, uh, I guess it's very much the whole meat and potatoes of it. And in the Middle East, in the dying days of the Biden administration, you know, there has been a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas, which resulted in the exchange of hostages and prisoners. It's good. It's good that there are you know people are now being liberated and from the October 7th attacks, and I really just wish that all of this shit would stop in that region of the world because a lot of pilgrimages to the Holy Land have been postponed or even canceled because of the war. So, in the tourism side of things, it's very much, uh, I don't know, it's very much, um, yeah, it affected that region so much. And yeah, uh, another tech news that very much defined January 2025 is the TikTok ban and everything related to it. So Uh, as you all know, TikTok was banned for around 90 to 20 hours, only for the incoming Trump administration at that time to promise a 90-day extension. So that's around 3 months in order for the platform to be divested from ByteDance and be partially, or not really divested, but partially divested in order for it the platform to be partially American owned, because a lot of Americans have been pissed off that TikTok has been affected. Rightfully so, because there are also businesses that are affected. But then again, uh, the whole damn thing is a can of is a technical can of worms, because China. Sorry for the Trump um, uh, imitation there, but yeah, ByteDance is basically from our region and from our part of the world. In the Asia Pacific, that is. So that's that. And before the end of this month, a passenger plane and a military helicopter, I think it's a Black Hawk, collided midair in Washington, D.C., of all places. I mean, plane crashes happen. Very rare, but very tragic. But, you know, it happened, that happening in DC, that's huge, man. That's very huge. I don't know if it's pilot error or something, but uh, it resulted in the deaths of uh, of the passengers and crew of both aircraft. So may they rest in peace. So that's that. And speaking of resting in peace, this month also basically um, also saw the deaths of the following individuals: the Vivienne. This guy is a British drag queen. Jean-Marie Le Pen. He is the father of Marine Le Pen, a French right wing politician, and basically one of the pillars of uh, the National Rally Party in France, which is basically, you know, uh, right wing conservative, right wing or conservative party in France that opposes Emmanuel Macron and the left wing parties in French Parliament. And then we have David Lynch. He's an American filmmaker. He is um, basically the guy um, who who directed some movies like Dune. He actually did directed Dune, and then he also directed the film Eraserhead, which is the inspiration of the Filipino rock band the Eraserheads. So that's a good connection. So yeah, then uh, another entertainment icon that died was Gloria Romero. Uh, I think she's around 90 something when she died. It's a ripe old age. She's one of the legends in Philippine cinema and the Philippine entertainment industry, and the whole showbiz scene in this country, in my country, are it has mourned her death. So yeah, that's how influential Gloria Romero is. And then before this month ended, two other deaths happened on both sides of the cultural sphere. In the progressive side, Filipino politician Edsel Lagman, the principal author of the Reproductive Health Act of 2012, he died at the age of 82. And yeah, while I have differences in opinion regarding his politics and all that shit, yeah, I have to report that he did passed away. And the other person that sadly died is Bishop Richard Williamson, uh, a former bishop of the Society of Saint Pius X, or SSPX. He became notorious for his allegedly anti-Semitic um, remarks a few years back or a few decades back. I am not sure when did he made these remarks, but it's just unfortunate that uh, some people speculate that he was a Holocaust denier. So that's one of the things that is regrettable now that he's dead. So may their souls and all the souls of the faithful departed rest in peace. And then we have space news. So January 2025 has also been very much busy in the space scene because there were at least three new, or not really three, but two new uh, aerospace maiden flights, and some very good highlights, or very big highlights in the industry. First and foremost, Starship. Flight 7 was a partial success, partial failure, because the Super Heavy booster went back to Starbase after it launched. So basically, if this is the rocket, basically that thing was catched like that, like so, and these are the chopstick arms. So basically, that happened. Uh, you can watch all of the coverage for that. However, the Starship upper stage disintegrated above the Turks and Caicos Island in the Caribbean, and I don't know what will happen, but definitely it will set back um, SpaceX's launch cadence for the rest of this year. To put it bluntly, I really hope that this would not be the first and only launch for Starship in 2025. But yeah, I'm expecting the worst, because yeah, the spaceship, or the version of Starship that disintegrated, was actually its second major version of Starship. So that was the prototype for version 2, and it basically burned up in the it basically blew up and burned up in the atmosphere. So that really is unfortunate. A few hours prior, Blue Origin launched its New Glenn spacecraft. It launched spectacularly. Its first stage booster, that was supposed to be reusable, did not stick the landing, but the primary objective of getting it to space was achieved. So, quite frankly, this is a much better result. And for at least that day, SpaceX became the footnote for that day and that event. Uh, Two new lunar missions have been launched as well. Firefly has its Blue Moon lander. I'm not sure of the name of the spacecraft. Yeah, Blue Ghost. Blue Ghost is the name of the Firefly spacecraft that's going to the moon. And then Hakuto RM1 or RM2 by iSpace was also ride sharing on that same launch aboard the Falcon 9. So those are two lunar missions. I think Firefly is set to make its landing attempt first, because it has its own propulsion, and it was the first to be released. So we hope that by the next month or two, we would see if uh, if that spacecraft would stick the landing on our celestial neighbor, and we hope as well the same for iSpace, which is making a second attempt on landing on the moon properly after its first spacecraft basically failed to do so and crashed on the moon. That's unfortunate. Yeah, and then before this month ended, there's this aviation company called Boom Supersonic, and it uh, basically flew its XB-1 prototype aircraft for the very first time, and it went. I don't know if it's supersonic or hypersonic. Basically, it broke the sound barrier, and we haven't seen something like this in more than 50 years. So yeah, it's it's a good thing to tackle. I haven't, I in fact, I haven't watched the whole flight and all that shit because I've been too busy as well with my own personal life. But yeah, that's um, that's how it that's how it goes. Now for church news. As I said earlier, Nazareno 2025 happened. This is the very first time that the whole of the Philippines celebrates the national feast of Nuestro Padre Jesus Nazareno. And it's not just limited to Quiapo and the city of Manila, but it's been, uh, you know, liturgically celebrated all over the country and perhaps all over the Filipino diaspora. So as long as there are devotees there, I accompanied the Father General to Quiapo during that day, and yeah, it was very much a festive mood. I know it's a bit queasy for the faint of heart, but being a third generation Nazareno devotee helped me a lot in somehow navigating the streets of Manila for that. Full disclosure, I didn't get very close to the Andas. I'm not going to do that. I'm actually I'm actually on caretaker duty for my dad. So that's that. Anyway, yeah, I witnessed it. I witnessed how it went during that day, and yeah, hoping for more of this to come in the next few years. Then there is this big story from the Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines, and I understand that they have submitted their guideline document regarding the establishment of the permanent diaconate in the Philippines to the Vatican. So, uh, long story short, uh, Filipino bishops are considering uh, the ordination of mostly married men as deacons. I already made uh, I already made my uh, commentary about it 2 years ago when it started to surface in the news. And full disclosure, as an extraordinary minister of Holy Communion in my parish, I welcome it with very high skepticism because I know that the ministry of the diaconate is very, very different and distinct from the priesthood. It's just that in order to become a priest, you must be a deacon first in order for you to understand. But then again, you know, I very much fear the repercussions of this move because uh, it's not just because of ex seminarians being able to uh, you know get back to actively serving as clergy, but as very junior clergy at that. But at the same time, priests who have been, you know, thinking about, you know, having second thoughts on their ministry may have may use this as a loophole to, you know, uh make their concerns. And you know, it's a can of worms. I really just have to say it's a can of worms. As much as I'd love to get into this, I'm very skeptical, and at the same time, you know, it uh it's, let's just say, uh you know, it's different. It's you know, it's very, uh how do I say this? It's complicated. It's very complicated. So I really would just have to wait and see how this this thing goes. So that's that. And finally, for the third item on our church news stuff, the late Father Eduardo Ontiveros, SJ, yes, that Jesuit composer who had a very high impact in Filipino liturgical music, has been nominated as a national artist for music. And during that announcement as well, some Filipino liturgical musicians have announced a competition, songwriting or music composition competition for Filipino liturgical music. And it's named after Father Ontiveros, Father Onti, to uh, that's his nickname. So yeah, and you know, it's very uh, it's been a long time coming, but at the same time, I'm also skeptical about this because uh, in order for Filipino Catholics to understand the liturgy, they must understand the liturgy. They must or Filipino liturgical music, or liturgical music for that matter. They must understand this first Catholic liturgy, and you know, it's um how do I say this? It's complicated. It's very complicated. I really um I'm having a I'm having a brain freeze at this point. But you know, yeah, it's um it's something that needs to be discussed further. That's all I can say. And then speaking of Ontiveros, Father Ontiveros's niece in the Senate, you know who she is. She's been promoting this bill called Adolescent Pregnancy Prevention Bill. I'm not sure of the title of that bill, but it's basically the prevention of teenage pregnancies in the Philippines. It's a good cause. It's a good you know, it's a good thing to even consider. But at the same time, as someone who has been in involved in the culture wars, not only here in the Philippines but in the international stage, it's just you know, I just find it a bit, I don't want to say stupid, but you know, I just find it um disappointing that the Philippines is imitating other countries in a copy paste manner. I mean, there are uh, critics of this bill who are saying that, you know, uh, this bill is just copy pasting what the United Nations and the World Health Organization is recommending to its member states. But then again, uh, there is this clash between the global standard and the local situation or the local customs. And it's not just Christians, or not just it's not just Catholics and Christians in general who are having reservations at the very least. in this regard, but also our Muslim countrymen, because as far as I understand it, uh, you know, uh, Islamic scholars you know, are finding the whole damn thing, uh, questionable, and very much opposed to their practice, to their practices in their faith. So that's another hurdle that they have to consider, or another thing that lawmakers have to consider in sorting this out. And I have actually tackled all of that, or not really all of that, but basically included that in the first podcast episode I made for this year. The title is "The Philippines Has a Big Sexual Problem." I'll link it as well in the YouTube description here, but I'll also share it to you on this. I'll share it as well here in the chat. Anyway, um, as I said, it's very much a big can of worms. It's a very big can of worms. Yeah, I have to tell you that it's a very very big can of worms. It's it sucks. It really sucks that this happens, or this this is what's going on in our country. Another and one of the other things that I the another thing that I have briefly mentioned in that podcast episode as well is the Ayala Avenue simping incident, where cyclist vloggers or content creators, Wilbert Luna and Ryan Betidos, have been outed as, freaks. And I personally am disappointed that they still continue to do their shit without remorse for their actions. But you know what? Uh, the court of public opinion has already decided that they are very much out of this freaks. But then again, yeah, it's a very big problem here, because uh, there's always this notion that uh, they're irredeemable and all that. I still hope that they do, but then again, they really have to be sincere in this. And come to think of it, my experience regarding cynicism is just a symptom of a very, very big problem. And as a country, we have to tackle cynicism as a whole. I may um, I may touch on that in the future, but I did tackle my own journey from cynicism to hopeful skepticism, because as I said, I've been cynical for all this time, and I really hope that my story would very much help others consider not being too cynical, or still question things, but not dismiss them outrightly. That's the problem that we're facing as a society. And then there's another moral shit that happened in the past few days that I haven't that didn't make the cut in that podcast episode, and that's the uh jerker incident in uh, a, a grab driver who allegedly was a jerker. But then again, the person who outed this driver uh you know had a lapse of judgment, and uh she basically she basically ruined this guy's life uh, without any solid evidence. It's just because she's hyper vigilant, and uh, the excuse that this girl um, presented is that because she's hyper vigilant with all the sexual BS that's happening. I do understand that, but then again, do we really have to share it on social media? Why not, go on the due process? Is it because you're too cynical to even trust the due process of the law that you would resort to vigilante justice? I i get it. I really get it. It's really hard to it's really hard to trust people these days. But if you do it on your own, if you do it your way, uh would that actually help? Would that actually help? I don't know, man. It's just unfortunate that these things happen. And then another thing that happened in our country is in the entertainment industry. ABS-CBN and GMA are collaborating for the next season of our local edition of the Big Brother franchise. So yeah, traditionally the franchise has had its home in ABS-CBN, but since the Kapamilya shutdown of 2020, of course, it's a bit of a it's a bit of a problem that that the reach has been stymied because broadcast is still powerful. I have to say that, and it's basically a mutual exchange here because ABS-CBN has the clout but does not have a broadcast franchise at this point, while GMA has a broadcast franchise but has been lacking in their clout in their entertainment stuff. Their the news the news part of their agencies, or the news agencies of both of these networks, are flourishing on their own right. So uh it's not affected. But when it comes to entertainment, yeah, it's a mutual exchange. So we'll see to that. It's I think it's a celebrity season that's gonna happen next in the Big Brother franchise. So I'm hoping for the best for that. And then uh another content that I produced for this for January is my review of the Cinemalaya 2024 entry Love Child, uh, from an autistic Filipino perspective. So that should be this one. I'm gonna share it to you right now. There. So that's my review of Love Child. Do check it out. But in a nutshell, you know, uh, I uploaded this, or I have produced this with the National Autism Consciousness Week in mind, because the Philippines designated the last week of January for that, while the rest of the world is talking about it every April. And every April, it's either Holy Week or Easter. So uh, in order for it to be sorted out properly, this observation in the Philippine context has been added. So that's that. And now, uh, there are two other things that I need to tackle, uh, but I'm gonna reserve it for the last part of this live stream. But yeah, DeepSeek. There's this AI um, platform from China that is also making the rounds, and uh, basically these people are the people that use it are trolling, trolling this AI tool, especially with question on what happened in 1989, if you know what I mean. So that's that. And now for the main event of this of this live stream. Two things happened in the pop culture scene. One of them is Stephen Kenneth Bonnell II, aka Destiny, and all of the allegations of him sharing suggestive content. Yeah, that. Uh, let's just say that um, this was a long time coming because as observers see it, according to observers and as according to commentators observing uh, whatever the hell Destiny is into, he's a fucking freak. He's a degenerate. He doesn't deny it, but then again, yeah, it just showed. The fact that he was in an open marriage that uh that ended not too long ago because both of them are cucking themselves out. The fact that Bonnell is sharing uh sharing uh sexual content without the consent of the other party he is involved with speaks numbers. And uh someone in his orbit became a whistleblower. Actually, there's two of them. Both of them are now uh, resorting to legal matters, uh, uh, and let's just see where it goes. But either way, Destiny's fucked, figuratively, literally and figuratively. Destiny's fucked. I mean, he can still get back, of course, but then again, his reputation is now tarnished. I mean, uh, I also included that as a side or as a segue in my podcast episode. And that's the reason why I added Destiny in the in the uh that's why I added Destiny uh in the thumbnail of that podcast episode. So yeah, that's that. And yeah, it just goes to show that just because you're a political commentator and you're very much you know uh, very much convinced of your own side doesn't mean that you would shit on other people. It all started with the Trump assassination attempt and all that shit. And yeah, here we are today. We're seeing the downfall of Destiny. Come to think of it, someone with that kind of name, a guy, a man with that kind of screen name, I mean, it's just funny, man. I just find it funny now in retrospect. Why the fuck did he use that? Why the fuck did he use that name? Anyway, uh, if if it's proven in court that Destiny has been leaking those kind of sexual content that we don't normally see and we shouldn't, yeah, he's gonna hit the slammer. In Tagalog, we call it himas rehas. So, yeah. We'll see. And finally, since we are now 3/4 of an hour deep into this, as this uh, as this title implies, it's not just a 300 reference, but also a Daily Wire reference. And you're reading it right. The God King bleeds. Jeremy Boring made the stupidest decision of his career, of basically firing Brett Cooper. And now she's back. She's back swinging harder. I just watched her first episode, the first episode of the Brett Cooper show, with her as an independent YouTuber, an independent creator. And the only reason why the Daily Wire is having some kind of traction is because of Brett Cooper. And I have observed in during her Daily Wire stint that she has the shortest content per video out of all the YouTubers out there. She does not have a full length show. Let's just say at least 30 minutes long and all that shit. I know it's about, audience retention and all that, but just goes to show that um, something happened. I don't know what. I don't know what happened during her stint, but yeah. I'll try to leave it to the people who are very much familiar with this topic, especially those who are very near and dear to Brett Cooper, i.e., Amir Odom. I understand that Amir was not just one of Brett Cooper's best friends. He was also present during Brett's wedding last year. So, yeah. Amir Odom is actually a gay, black, conservative creator. Very ironic, but it's a good addition. He's a good man. He's a good guy. I can say that. But yeah, the the Gen Z conservative darling has returned as a queen who bled the God King. So I guess I raise a toast to Brett Cooper. I mean, yeah. Uh, Coming back swinging and, having a large following that basically, you know, transitioned from the Daily Wire to being independent. Yeah, it's one of the great miracles of this industry, of the media industry. And again, I raise a toast to her and to her husband Alex for basically transitioning from being affiliated to a media outlet to being an independent. So yeah, uh, here's to both of you. I hope you would get children soon. But yeah, uh, yeah. I don't have anything yet, any other thing to say. But cheers, Brett. Congratulations, and here's to you. Ugh. I love this. I love the taste of Batangas coffee in the morning, even if it's no longer hot. Yeah, January 2025, done and dusted. Yeah, this is basically my calendar, and for January, and I'm making a tradition that I'll use the back The backside of this as my notes for the for the highlights. Yeah, January 2025 is done and dusted. And if you will excuse me, I'll just finish my coffee and I'll also let you uh, get on with your day because, yeah, it's around 10:30 now, Philippine Standard Time. Get back to work. Uh, get something for lunch. I'm gonna let you uh, do your thing, okay? And with all that said, this is Intrepid and reminding you to at all times be the salt of the earth and the light of the world. Until then, look alive, stay alive, be kind to yourself and to each other. And, you know, thank you very much for watching. And, yeah, one more thing, keep your coffee sweet. Not necessarily sweet, but keep your coffee rich and your commentaries richer. Yeah, I know it's I'm making wordplay of my spiels here. But anyway, thank you very much for watching this Biglaang Live brood banter of the recap of January 2025. And from here in Intrepid HQ, a very good morning, a happy weekend, and see you next time. Ian out. Bye bye. Now, how do I how do I end this uh live stream? I don't know. No, 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 no. No, it's not that. Yeah. Bye, everyone.